So it's January 2025, which means I'm 1 year into my entrepreneurial journey. I'm a year in, I've come very far. I feel like I've built a whole new nervous system, and so I'm going to give you an update on where I'm at and the lessons that I've learned. I have been doing freelance work, and really trying to conceptualize and build up my own personal brand and platform. So the first one, I made a video about, I think it was about at the 6-month mark. It was sharing the fact that I even left my job in the first place and the things that I learned. And I remember talking about how much I did not anticipate the anxiety of it all. And to be honest, that didn't go away. I thought it was going to go away. I've come a long way in what I'm actually anxious about. And I'm taking my vitamins because maybe it's not even the entrepreneurship in the first place, but even so, that was a huge lesson for me. In order to have capacity for these levels of growth that we want to achieve, whether it's self-growth, whether it's business growth, you actually have to build that. That doesn't come overnight. It doesn't magically happen. You have to allow the space for that to happen. I completely reconceptualized my idea of growth. People have had conversations around how growth isn't linear, but especially in the business and the startup world, there's a lot of pressure for growth to be exponential. We look at the graph and we want to see what's called the hockey stick line. But I believe that growth is an upward spiral. Once you get to that next level, you're always going to have to then start again once you're there to get to the next level. And when I started to conceptualize growth like that, it changed two things. One, how I built businesses, what the marketing, branding, business strategies were that I incorporated to help brands grow more resilient businesses, grow them more organically, grow businesses where they were really operating off of owned channels and customer connections that they could depend on. And it also changed how I could stomach my experience because I wasn't putting so much pressure on myself to have this up and up and up trajectory. I started to become more familiar with the experience of confusion, lack of clarity, anxiety, aha moment, answer, lesson applied, and round again. I also think what's really special about that is that it helps you understand the different pieces of your experience that are anchoring you in that growth. Maybe it wasn't always about the amount of social media followers that I got that day or the amount of people that liked my photos and seeing that number go up and up and up. Maybe all of the different pieces of my day were just as important in that growth. The conversations I had, the emails I got, the newsletters that I actually came across and read, the articles that Google suggested to me. I just really took a step back and ended up having this more holistic approach in what my own experience was, what my experience was with entrepreneurship. So that was really cool. That was a 2 thumbs up situation. Another big piece of this journey that has been really hard for me is that everything that I thought that I wanted, that I was doing this for, fell away and revealed to me that the reason that I am doing all of this work is because it truly is my purpose. So this is what happened. The whole reason I got into entrepreneurship in the first place was because, like many of us, I was told that creating a digital product would lead to creative and financial fulfillment. I was wrong about that, okay? I also felt like entrepreneurship could unlock, again, this next level of financial freedom that would allow me to be more present in my life, make more of my own decisions, work remotely, spend more time with family, wake up and do whatever I wanted to do that day. And while that may be true, that lifestyle that I put on the other side of this rainbow was actually pretty similar to the lifestyle that I had at my full-time job, which, it's very lucky and a privileged thing to have a job that you like, that offers you flexibility, where you're working with people that you like and you're doing work that inspires you. That has always been very important to me, so that is what I found. And those situations might not last forever. You might have to move on from those jobs, but that exists. And so it was interesting because I left and I dove into this whole experience that I put so much pressure on just to get to this other side of a lifestyle that I could have if I chose it. Yeah, maybe it's, not the same. Maybe it doesn't feature just this, I guess, like this mass amount of money or this mass amount of time freedom. But now that I was in a place where I was fully free to do what I wanted, I was spending more time working, more time investing in this intangible thing, and I had to really challenge myself in order to persevere. I had to reconcile that the choice that I wanted to make to get me there wasn't getting me there. I could easily bring in all of those things in my life right now and have that experience and feel that way. But instead, I'm choosing to go this different path. That's really hard. It has stressed me out. It has challenged me more than ever. It requires more work than ever. It requires me to be relentless. And it has affected, I think, my relationships and how I show up in my relationships. And so it's hard to continue to choose this thing over and over where you're just like, why am I doing this? And it's because destiny is a part of it. Purpose is a part of it. You are just pulled and you feel like a magnet to what's on the other side. And I think that those things are so worthwhile because of the lessons that we can learn in those experiences. And I think for leaders who are bringing things to life that don't already exist, for entrepreneurs and people who are expanding markets, creating new things in the market that people aren't familiar with, this is a whole different type of tenacity that you have to build. It's not just stepping into something that's tried and true. It is carrying the weight of two different realities and trying to bridge them for people. I was listening to this book. It's called The Messy Middle by the founder of Behance. Behance is a creative community platform, and it was developed around the same time that Facebook was. At the time, the founder was saying nobody understood what they did. They got so many blank stares because they were ahead of their time. Because now if you look at social media, it's literally all about creatives connecting. He said that this type of entrepreneurship and what he was trying to build at the time, being early to the market, required a whole different type of productivity metrics to challenge yourself on. It required looking at pain management skills in order to navigate being that misunderstood, building on such an intangible ground. And I find that really inspiring. I have also found it to be a humongous challenge. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to hopefully this year and beyond is building more stability, because I feel like I have the confidence in myself. I think it's more so a matter of patience and letting go of some control. So I'm hoping to be able to build in more peace in my routine, sleep better at night, knowing that I am making these choices for a reason, and it does require sacrifice, and it is different than what I thought, but it doesn't mean that it won't be better. The last thing that I've had to really understand this year and challenge myself on is what feels good and what doesn't. When am I forcing things to the point where I'm spinning my wheels? And why do the good things happen, or why does it seem to happen when I'm my most optimistic and when I let go? I had to start to tell the difference because I had to connect my mind to my body much more. When things aren't working, look at it more critically and say, well, what if it isn't working for a reason because it's supposed to be something else? So now that I'm, a year in, that's one of my big focuses right now. I spent so much time trying to define myself in order to make what I do more clear to other people. But the reality is that you change your messaging all of the time anyway to tailor it to who you're talking to. And then second, the ideal clients that I got, or the ideal work experiences that I had, were working for me because everything I was doing that was perhaps unclear or not cohesive to others literally checked the boxes and made it make sense to these people who I felt most aligned. And everything I'm saying, by the way, is a recurring practice that I have to do every day, just to share some of the things that I was able to accomplish because this feels good looking back at it. Cyber Collective, my muse, one of my favorite intentional technology startups, was able to reach new heights, okay? New milestones. And I'll link our impact report below if anybody's interested. But the biggest milestones that we were able to achieve, which was something that we had set out to do from the early days in 2020, was launch a Cyber Collective volunteer and community program. And then we worked with those volunteers and Cyber Collective advocates to co-create a digital safety course that is unlike anything that exists right now. And that is called Internet Street Smarts. There is so much story behind how this came together and why it is so special. And I'll share a bit more here. I'll link to the article that I wrote about it. But it's one of the things that I'm most proud of in my career because of how innovative it is and how many people were involved and, you know, how everybody had to step in and be a leader in this space. Cyber Collective exists to help people understand the impact of technology. That's why we're aligned. And to help them protect themselves and protect their loved ones with this knowledge. Their goal through educating people around these topics is to prevent scams. And it came to a point where we were creating content, we were creating resources, but it was not something that a small team could do alone. The only way that we can push forward better solutions is by working together. So we brought in the team of advocates. It was like 50 or so people, and people stepped in all aspects of the course production and launch to contribute their perspective from their range of lived experiences. We had people who were contributing from Singapore, from Australia, and that made this end product so special. We incorporated things that aren't often associated with technology, let alone cybersecurity, let alone personal digital safety. We incorporated feminine design principles. We incorporated mindfulness and somatics. And we also incorporated this sentiment that you get from mutual aid and movements throughout history, collective movements, which is that it's not just about protecting ourselves, it's about looking out for each other. So Internet Street Smarts, I think, just perfectly encompasses all of that. And by pouring into that and creating both of those two pillars of the brand, we have unlocked so much in terms of impact, in terms of, you know, how we can then partner and turn Internet Street Smarts into a global movement. And I am just so proud of that. And I am so in awe of the founder and her leadership and her resilience, Tazeen Khan. Look her up. She's great. That has been one of the best things that came out of this year. The other thing that came out of this year was I learned so much about what I stood for. I found my voice. I understood what I wanted to teach and how I wanted to contribute, and my relationship with technology and business and marketing in order to talk to other people about that. And now I feel like in 2025, I'm fully living that. It's funny because back to the exponential growth experience, I feel like we are always in these cycles, and I know more than ever about who I am, but now I'm just starting to live that new version of me. So I created the branding, which I think is phenomenal. I created some products that I'm rolling out. I'm working on a signature program, but most importantly, I created content. One that I'm proud of, two that helped me build relationships with really special people online that are now part of my life. Marketing innovators, businesses, this company called MetaWell, which talks about metaversal wellness, and reframes how the internet is affecting you and your body and what you can do about it. Like, it is really cool when you look back on all that stuff. So if you're watching this, I hope that it's going well for you. Even if you are experiencing an up or a down, just remember that it grows like this, okay? Also, by the way, the upward spiral thing is a thing from nature. It's a literal thing that's mirrored in the world in the way that biology works. I think it's called like the Fibonacci sequence or something, but expansion and growth, once we align to that energy in our daily lives, we're able to stomach more of what this takes. So let me know how your journeys have been going, and I will see you soon in another video.